Well, hello and good evening, everybody. I hope you have a great week so far. It's Friday night, the very last day in March. Can you believe it? 3 months already gone in this year. It's like, oh my gosh. But this is Sandy, and welcome to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And it is late night with Nana. And it's 8 o'clock my time, because right now we're Pacific time. And then it just goes across 9, 10, 11. And for anybody that pops in later, that's different places in the world. It could be the middle of the night, or it could be the morning, depending on where you guys are coming from. So I'm in my art studio today. It was a busy day today, and then tonight. I am repainting my kitchen cabinets down here. And so it was kind of fun to see the transformation. And Anne is here. And Dale, how are you? Are you still gone? I know you were going to see Black's Tropical, and I think they were having a soil thing. And so, oh, yep, see, now she's writing. Just got in from the first day of the Soil Family Expo. I bet you had a blast. You know, you went last year, and I know you had a good time. And so I bet you had a blast this time. Still in Georgia. Savannah, Georgia. Fun. And I suppose you probably already have some things in your garden just because you're warm down there, just like over here in Arizona. And but it's late night with Nana tonight, and tonight it's just a fun night. We can talk about anything. But I've painting my kitchen cabinets down here. Now, our little place is 1972. So, 50 years old. And Blue is here. Hello, how are ya? And the cabinets are still the original cabinets that were in there. Now, in our little place, the cabinets, the doors themselves are not wood. They're like this, I don't know, I guess you'd call it a resin construction. They probably pressed it into a mold to make the design on it. Well, they were all dark, and so I am painting them. It's called Gray Frost. It's not a light gray, but it's not a dark gray. So it's interesting. And Blue is doing good. I'm glad. Because I know that is very early in the morning where Blue is. And so thank you so much for popping in. And Wayne is here too. I am cooking some chicken thighs. Chicken is always good. I could basically eat chicken for almost every meal because you can just do so many things with it. You can't hardly go wrong. And Tim is here. Hey, Tim, how are you? Tim, I so enjoy all your posts on Facebook. I find it very inspiring and sometimes very funny, depending on the post that you did. So I appreciate that you take the time to do that every single day. And Teresa is here saying hi. And Blue says it is 4 a.m. She's just getting up, and she's over the pond. She's over in England. And so it is early morning for her. And it's just so funny that you can live all these different places in the world and they're different time zones. It can be a different day. It's really kind of amazing, actually. So yesterday I did part of my cabinets and I let them dry and I put them back up there and I get the drawers in. And so then today I took all the other drawers off and painted them outside because it was nice outside, and then painted all the little trim around everything. And I had wanted this cabinet paint, but because of the color I wanted, they didn't have the base color for it. And so I got an enamel instead, a semi-gloss enamel. but I think it's going to be good, you know. It has 2 coats in it. It dries really hard. And then now I'm trying to decide, do I want to paint the inside of the door and the inside of the cabinet the same color or a different color? Haven't decided yet. Teresa says, had a rough weather today, tornado warnings, and thankfully everyone is okay. Oh, I'm glad that everyone is okay. Tornadoes are one of those things that I would rather have 5 feet of snow than have a tornado. And in fact, back home, they had about a foot of snow. My brother sent me a video, and he's plowing his driveway, and there's probably a foot of snow that they got overnight and this morning. So that is kind of crazy. Tim says, I had to take a YouTube break. Got overwhelmed with everything, so chose to slow down. But I am coming back slowly. I think that's good. Taking care of yourself, Tim. And every day that Tim posts on Facebook, and he has quotes, and he has Bible verses, and he has jokes, and it makes me happy every single day when I'm on Facebook and I see his posts. So I appreciate it. But Tim, take care of yourself, because life can be overwhelming. It can be just craziness. And Ange is here. Hey, Ange, how are ya? Teresa says, if you went with white inside cabinet, it would reflect light and make it easier to see things inside. See, that is true. But honestly, I think I'm going to put a funky color inside, like orange or yellow or something. I haven't decided for sure, because I haven't decided what color to paint the walls in the kitchen. Around our window, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, we had some extra indoor paint that was a kind of a light green, not a seafoam green, but a light green. And Joe just painted around that window and the sides of the cabinets, just and underneath a little bit, just to kind of lighten it up in there, because those cabinets are such a dark brown until I painted them. Oh, Tim's got a good idea. Salmon inside cabinets and mint green walls. See, that would look good with those gray cabinets, because the gray is not dark gray. I should have pulled up a video so that you guys could see it, but I'll have a little video on me painting and putting them back up and stuff. That's right, surprise inside. A friend of mine back in Wyoming, she was repainting her whole inside of her house. And what she did was that, she'd have a color for the bedroom, but then the closet itself, she took all the clothes out, all the stuff out of it, and she did these bright colors in the closets, oranges and bright reds and yellows, depending on the bedroom, so it kind of coordinated with the color of the bedroom. But it was really fun. And even when you put all the clothes back in and you open it up, that brightness comes through. And I thought, I think I'd kind of like that inside of my cabinet. The white, Teresa's right, it would reflect it, and but I think I just need a little bit of fun. So, but I do like the idea of salmon inside the cabinets. I love that color. My favorite all-time color ever is coral. Coral roses, coral anything. And it has been my favorite color since I was in high school. And so the salmon is very close to that coral color. And so I think I might like that. And I have enough paint to paint the rest of those walls, that green, that light green. That could be very good. See, Tim, I'm so glad you popped in. I tell you. But yeah, just kind of a surprise inside, because it's it can be interesting. Not that there's anything wrong with just leaving the inside of the cabinet the way it is. There's nothing wrong with that. I just would like it something more fun. I like things that make me smile. Or when somebody opens the cabinet, they'd go, "Oh, it's painted inside." I wanted to show you my new watercolor paper. A friend of mine gave me a gift card for Amazon. And so it was $25. I could buy whatever I wanted to. It was very sweet of her. And so I bought this watercolor paper. It's completely made out of cotton. But I wish you could feel it. It's really thick. You could get it like, there's one piece. It has a little bit of a texture, so it has some tooth to it. I love the edges though. Isn't that fun? So when I paint on this, I am not gonna mat it. I'm gonna hook this onto the backing so that you can see this. And I can always put those little double-sided sticky, it's foam, it's round, it makes your picture stand up a little bit. I think that would be very interesting. So anyway, this type of watercolor paper you can get in white, off-white. Mine's a little bit off-white, tan, or gray, which is unusual for watercolor paper. Usually it's just bright white or white. But like here is the tan. I liked the edges. They were darker. It actually looks to me like it's tea stained. Like you would make extra tea, because I've tea stained paper before. So I thought maybe that was kind of interesting. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have to paint a painting for Patty since she gave me the card, and send it to her. That's right, Tim. Artist in you coming out. My daughter, when a teenager, had her room neon green walls and neon pink trim with Skittle wrappers as the border. That is so fun, because you don't have to have things plain. Now, if plain things make you happy, that is totally okay. But I think sometimes we forget that we can paint our walls whatever color we want to. And I think it just can be interesting. Niecy's here. How are ya? You have been busy crocheting. All kinds of stuff. And how much snow do you have at your house? That's what I want to know. And because the snow was coming through, and I would assume that it hit you guys too. So tell me how much snow you have at your house. She lives in a beautiful part of Montana, and the mountains in Wyoming, Montana, the Black Hills, North Dakota, they have just been dumped with snow this year. My poor little young man that shovels our driveway, well, not our driveway, just our sidewalk. That's all he has to do is the sidewalk. He had to work hard for his money this time. Last year it was very easy. Most of it is melted. We still have a couple of inches. We got snow today, but it melted pretty quick. Oh, well, okay, good. I saw that with all the snow and the rain, different places across the country, that the levels of a whole bunch of lakes are up. Like I think it's Idaho, that every single lake is all the way full now. There's a whole bunch of places in California that the lakes are full, and some of them are running over the spillways. And so that is an exciting thing. And it's interesting that experts will say it's going to take 20 years to fill that up. Back in the Black Hills, there's these two lakes, Sheridan and Pactola, and they were down. And I remember the news was saying this expert and this expert 20 years before it fills back up. And we had lots of snow and really good rains, and it filled it up in one season. But it was an exceptional amount of snow and rain. But it's interesting how things change. We think it's going to take this long, but then it doesn't. And sometimes it takes longer. So I got 2 canvases behind me that I am going to start painting this week. So I'm excited about that. I am planting my sweet potato slips because they have really good root system now. I repotted tomatoes into big, tall containers. Skinny but tall. Oh, Charmaine is here. Hi, Charmaine. How are ya? That's right, Tim, but God laughed and proved them wrong. That's because we all of us, not just experts, all of us sometimes think we know, but then we don't. And that's okay. It's okay. Today is my grandson's birthday, Jackson. So if you pop in, happy birthday. I know you guys are going out and about. So I hope you are safe and careful, and you have a great 25th birthday. I told them happy birthday. I said you're a quarter of a century old. That's a fun milestone, quarter of a century. Some friends of ours back home, their grandmother was 103. I think a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. 103, and she looked good. It was like, seriously. She did not look, she looked like maybe she was in her 80s, and she was 103. And I thought, good for you. That's right. Say something and watch God change it. It happens all the time. At 7 p.m., they closed the interstate from Bismarck to Fargo. Oh, it was a little windy here. Not bad. We had blue skies. The weather and the interstates have been crazy. I-80, I think, has been closed as much as it has been open across the bottom of Wyoming this year. Not necessarily all of it, but at least part of it. For days and days, it would, this is closed. This isn't closed. This is closed. And it's like, how do those truck drivers get across to Salt Lake City if Interstate 80 is closed? I feel bad for them, though I wouldn't want to be a truck driver in the wintertime. That is crazy driving. And Interstate 80 in Wyoming is miserable when it's snowing and blowing. It is so dangerous. Carol is here. Hi, Carol. How are ya? Tim says, I learned never to never. If God is involved, guess what I did? Guess what I did? Because we think, we make our plans. And then it's like, yeah, no, that's not what's going to happen. But that's okay. And never to say never, I meant. Yeah, I figured that's what you were meaning. Because things change, and they change fast, and they can change, well, life can change in a second. Hopefully those changes are good. So I'm doing my cabinets. I tore down, we had this, in our little house, there was this little tiny closet. And it was only about 1.5 by 1.5. It was to store your brooms in, and your mop. And it was basically at the edge of the kitchen into the living room. So it didn't stick out far, but I never used it because you had to move the kitchen table, because that's where I had my kitchen table, to get to it. So I kept my broom and my mop in a different place. Well, yesterday I decided to rip that stuff out. And so I ripped it all out, and in the bottom of it, it had the original carpet that was in our place. Good. Now, our house is 1972, right? And so it's orange shag carpet. It's got orange and dark browns and some red and some black in there. And it's about this thick of orange shag carpet. Now, I knew it was that color, even though I hadn't ripped that part out yet, because our closets still have that original in there. So I pulled that all out and pulled the walls off. And then I pulled the carpet up, and then there was the original linoleum from 1972 because it was underneath that. So I knew it was the original. And I thought, that had been some funky flooring in 1972. But shag carpet was the thing in 1972. Teresa says, I never ask what else can go wrong because soon as you do, you find out. Yeah, life is interesting. I just finished a book, and it's basically it's on running your own farm. But there's always all these life lessons when you read a book that's and I listened to it on audible.com because I wanted to be able to do things while I'm listening to the book. And it talks about you make plans, and then that's not what's going to happen. So it was a really interesting book, and on life lessons and how you can learn more from the failures than a lot of times from the successes. Carol says, will you continue to have your live at 8 o'clock? That is 11 o'clock for folks on the East Coast. Probably, because it used to be before the time change, I did it at 9 o'clock because I was in Mountain Standard Time, which was still 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And it works out good for us, because just the busyness that we have a lot of times on Friday nights. And I know it's late on the East Coast, but Monday Night Live is much earlier. So I figure if they can't make it on Friday, they could make it on Monday night, hopefully. Wayne says, they have green grass here and mud. We are expecting rain this week. Temperatures will range from 28 to 68 for a couple minutes. Hee hee. Snowdrop flowers are out. Oh, I love snowdrops. Oh, and Jesse's here. Jesse and Lisa. Finally got to see one of your lives. How are you guys? Thanks I was on a live. Whose live was I listening to the other? But you guys were on and you shared my YouTube channel. So I just really appreciate that. That is so sweet of you. So I'm glad that you could stop by and say hi. It's late night with Nana. And so sometimes I have a topic. But tonight I was just going to talk about things that were happening, just have fun tonight. And Cheryl's here. Hello. It's a good chill down chat. When my brother sent that video today, and he has a little 4-wheeler with a snowy, little thing that moves the snow. I'm not really sure what you call it. But there was probably easily a foot of snow they got last night and this morning. So that was kind of crazy. But where my brother lives, he lives next to my parents in the summertime. So we live next to my parents in the wintertime. He lives next to them in the summertime. So somebody is always right next door to my parents, which is kind of nice because, my dad is 91, and in 19 days, my dad will be 92. So it's like, whoo-hoo. That's why I can't go home before the 19th, because it's my dad's birthday. And he's going to be 92, and I don't want to miss any birthdays. So it's just what I'm going to do. We're staying for sure. But I do have to be back. I'd like to be back by the 24th. So we'll probably leave 21st, depending on the weather. Oh, look at that. Also the April 19th. That is awesome. Joa and my anniversary is April 11th. And tax day is April 15th, which is Jason's birthday, one of our boys. And so that's kind of fun. Tax day, baby. And oh, Charmaine says I have kale, spinach, lettuce mix, and breakfast radishes poking up outside. Isn't that just such an exciting time of the year? I mean, I love all of the seasons, but when you've planted your garden and all of a sudden those things start coming up, it's amazing. I tell you, absolutely amazing. So nice to be close to your parents. I'm 17 miles away from mine, and I wish I lived closer to them. Oh, Bob is a tax baby too. Bob is Andy's father-in-law. So that's kind of fun. So April's a busy month. I was switching calendars. I have a calendar over on the wall here. I have a calendar up here. And I was switching calendars around, and we're just about to go back to Wyoming, right? There are things that you have to do when you're living in two different places. And so I have my towers, there are three cells that you plant plants in, and then you adjust them so that they pile, so they make this tower. And so you just move them over a little bit, and then they lock together. Well, when it's 114 degrees here, that's too hot for them. So I took them all apart to yesterday, and then I'll use that soil on the garden before we leave when I pull up all my plants. But really, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I basically have 3 weeks, and I got to do a lot of stuff. Sorry, I was just looking. That just means you were taxed literally the year he was born. That's true. Isn't that funny? My sister-in-law is an April Fool's baby. And today is Jackson's birthday. So he almost was on a holiday. His 2 brothers are on holidays. And so every once in a while, depending on when Easter falls, he is on holiday. But Easter's kind of late this year. It's not till the 9th of April, or sometimes it's in March. So he didn't get a holiday this year, but I'm sure he's having fun with his friends. Lisa has the same spool rack that you have there. Oh, right there. I actually have a whole bunch of them. At a garage sale, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 of them for $1. And so it was very exciting. I have these things back home in Wyoming too. I just love them for my threads, because when I'm sewing, the threads are just right there. I don't have to go through a drawer. I don't have to open a box. I don't have to do anything. I just love it. Hey, Teresa. Teresa is having some hard times with Wi-Fi the last few times that I had a live stream. Are you still using the penny year idea with your crafts? I am, but I am having a horrible time finding anything that's 2023. So I have 3 pieces at the fair right now, and I went through all of our change. I had friends looking through their change, and nobody has a 2023 penny. So then I told them, just look and see if you have nickels or quarters. I don't care what it is. I just need to put it on the back of my paintings. So, Teresa's having bad storms. Be careful. And it is, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go to the bank and just ask them if I can get some 2023 coins, and just tell them I don't care what, if it's a penny, dime, nickel, quarter, I don't care. I just need them for the back of my paintings. Because like these 2, I haven't started, but I do know what I'm painting on them. And I started last year because of Jesse. Um, Joe has a circular bit on his drill that makes a hole, it'll saw a hole. And so I've used that, and then I put a little bit of glue and I just put the penny. And so all my paintings from 2022 have that. And so I want to do that. But I am having a hard time finding 2023. And I'm in a big show in May, and I can have 9 pieces in there plus 5 minis. And I want the pennies on the backs of all those paintings. And so it's like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to stop by the bank on Monday and see if they can do anything for me. I haven't been able to find any 2023s either. What's up with that? I'm sure they probably have them at the banks. But it just happens that I haven't been able to find any when I got changed. I just haven't found them yet. But I'm sure they have to be in circulation. They make pennies. They make coins every single day. So I'm sure they have to. I want us all to buy different Easter candies and to put about 20 plastic cups on the table upside down, and we can play a game of picking cups. I think that is fun. You can move those half of Easter eggs around and figure out where the candies are. I like that idea. Yeah. So tomorrow, I am judging the high school students' artwork that are at the fair, because we're having fair right now in Yuma, Arizona. And so we had to drop all of our artwork off last week because they have this whole process of hanging, and they judge them before the fair starts, because the fair doesn't start until the 4th. Though there was a lot of people, and the games were all set up, the carousel and everything were set up tonight. So I'm wondering if you won't be able to ride the rides starting this weekend, but the exhibitions aren't open until the 4th. And so that's what I'm probably thinking that's going to happen, because why set them up before, way before. So that will be fun. I went to the reception tonight for the artwork at the Fine Arts Building at the fairgrounds, and there was probably 75 pieces of art from high school students. And so tomorrow there's a couple of us that are the judges, and it's a point system, and you can write comments about the painting. Some of them were interesting. So it'll be fun to do that. So we're going to do that. And then tomorrow night we have the hobo dinner. Now, what is a hobo dinner? A hobo dinner is a potluck that we have at the clubhouse, and people can dress up as hobos, and they can win prizes. My friend Louise is in charge of the hobo dinner, and I am making with some extra ham from one of the other dinners that we had, and it has just been in the freezer. So one of the ladies gave me a big bag of navy beans, and so I'm going to make bean and ham soup for tomorrow night. And we had a little bit of turkey left over from our hot turkey sandwiches at the clubhouse, so I'm going to make a turkey soup, and so it should be fun. Louise has got all these fun ideas for the table decorations and some games, and so we'll see who is dressed like the best hobo. But they do that, and I'm not sure why they ever decided to call it a hobo dinner. But a lot of people leave, because they're just snowbirds. And when you go to leave, you always have extra stuff in your freezer, your refrigerator, in your cabinets. And so they started doing this every year when people are starting to leave the village, so you can use up your stuff. And so it's kind of a fun thing. It doesn't cost anything to come. You just have to make something and bring it. Though some of the single guys, they just come and eat. They don't bring anything, and that's okay too. And I like potlucks because, like Joe says, these ladies have been cooking for 50 and 60 years. They know how to cook. And so that's always a fun thing. And you always get some really interesting stuff. My mom is making this pineapple dessert. She made it the other day to test out the recipe. And it was good. It had walnuts in it and white chocolate chips. And Dad had the suggestion that she should put some fresh pineapple in there too. And so I think she's going to add the pineapple for tomorrow night. And it was really good. It was frozen and tasty. So that was a good recipe that she had found. But I'm already at 35 minutes. So I better let you go because there are other lives that I think Tony at Kettle Kitchen has his at 9 o'clock. And so make sure if you have a chance, pop over there and tell them that I sent you over. And it's going to be a busy weekend, but fun weekend, and only 21 days before we go back home. And so I will just I'll be telling you that and showing you all the things that we're doing, getting ready. And this is Xander or Sarah that is on right now. Jesse and Lisa, it was great. Thank you very much for popping in. I hadn't seen you for a while other than on other people's live streams. And so I appreciate you popping in and saying hi to everybody. But I hope everybody has a lovely night, a great weekend. Oh, both of you are here. Awesome. Sarah, are you still working too hard? Probably. That's what I say. Love you, everybody. 1, 4, 3. I love you. I will see you soon. I will have a short little video tomorrow with my cabinet doors back on my kitchen so you guys can see it. But Tim, I honestly think I'm going to do the salmon and then have the green on the walls that's already around the windows because I still have that paint. That was a great idea. Seriously. Oh, when aren't I? From Sarah. She is a busy woman and probably works way too much. But be careful. I love you guys. And all you guys that are in where there's the storms, please, please be careful. Have your exit plans and everything that you need. And I will see you, of course, Monday night. Members, I will have Monday morning video for you and the short video tomorrow too. So everybody, thanks so much. Love you.